Hello, we're going to look at solving equations in this little video, and I'm going to start off by solving equations where the unknown, in this case x, is on one side of the equal sign, and then we'll move on to looking at what we do where x, or the unknown, is on both sides of the equal sign. So we need to remember to use the balancing method. So whatever I do to this side, I've got to do the same to that side so that both sides of the equal sign remain in balance. And I also need to use inverse operations. This means if I've got a subtraction, I would do addition. The idea is to eliminate terms until we're just left with the x on its own. So to start off with, 4x take away 3 equals 17. We're going to use BIDMAS backwards. So normally we do multiplication and then I'll do subtraction, but I'm going to reverse all of that. I'm going to deal with this subtraction first. The inverse of subtraction is to add. So I'm just going to write in a bracket what I'm doing at both sides, so my method's nice and clear. So 4x, take away 3 plus 3, well, that would cancel that negative 3 out. So it's just leaving me with 4x. 4x would be 17 plus 3. 4x would be 20. The inverse of 4 times x would be to divide by 4. So I would do that on both sides. 4x divided by 4 will just leave me with one lot of x, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that is my answer. I'm just going to pop it back into the original equation now just to check it's right. 4 times 5 is 20, take away 3 is 17. So if there is a check you can possibly do, I'd recommend you do it. Moving on to the next example. Two ways of doing this. You can expand the bracket if you want, but I noticed that 3 divides really nicely into 24, so I'm actually going to do division first. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. That will just leave me with x plus 2 on this side. I don't need the brackets anymore. And then 24 divided by 3 is 8. X plus 2 is 8, so the inverse of adding 2 is to take 2 away. So x plus 2 becomes x, 8 becomes 6. Now I'm just going to double check that by putting this answer back into the original equation. So if x was 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 3 times 8 is 24. As I've said, you can expand the bracket if you like. Then you'd get 3x plus 6 is 24. You can take 6 away from both sides. Oops, so 3x would be 18. Brain stopped working there for a minute. Therefore, x would be 18 divided by 3, which is 6 again. Okay, moving on to where x is on both sides. Oops. So for this one, the idea is we get all the x's over to one side. So in this case, I'm going to move these x's over here because that keeps my x's positive. I could move the 5x over here. Then I'd have to deal with some negative x's, and that just gets a bit trickier, although you can do it and you'd get the same answer. So I'm going to start off by taking away 3x on both sides. 5x take away 3x, that would leave me with 2x plus 2 on this left-hand side, and the right-hand side, taking away this 3x, leaves me with positive 8. I don't have to write the plus sign, I can just write that 8 there. Now this looks very familiar, it looks like the problems we were solving previously. So 2x plus 2 equals 8, so if I take 2 away from both sides, 2x would equal 6. And then if I divide both sides by 2, 2 times x divided by 2 would just leave me with one lot of x, and 6 divided by 2 leaves me with 3. And again, I'm going to check this in my original equation. If x was 3, 3 times 5 would be 15 plus 2, that would give me 17 on the left-hand side, and I'd expect this to equal 17 as well. So if x was 3, 3 times 3 would be 9 plus 8, and that gives me 17. So I can be confident that I've got the correct answer. Okay, one more example to give you, and this is where We've got some negative signs. Now you just have to be a little bit more cautious with these. I'm still going to move the x's first. You don't have to. You can move the number part if you want to, but I tend to just get the x's onto one side to get that part out the way. 4x here, 5x there. So I'm going to move these x's over. It doesn't matter which way around you do it. Left to right, right to left. So 4x, take away 4x. That will leave me with no x's on this side, but it does leave me with negative 2. And that's very important that I put that negative before the 2. 5x, take away 4x. That will leave me with 1x and negative 8. Now, I need to move the numbers over to one side. Now, I've got x minus 8 here. I'm going to add 8. Let's add 8 to both sides. So negative 2 plus 8. Again, we need to be able to work with negative numbers. Negative 2 plus 8 leaves me positive 6. And that's the value of x. We normally put x on the left-hand side of the equal sign, but these are equivalent. Just to double check then, if x was 6, 4 times 6, 24, take away 2 would give me 22 on this side. I'm looking to get 22 on this side as well. 5 times 6 would be 30, take away 8, 22. So you can be confident that you've got the right answer. Okay, hope that's useful. As always, any questions, just let me know.